Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. I highly appreciate it. This is where trending stories become real life lessons, because on this channel we don't just watch the chaos, we pause, we dig deeper, and we uncover the bigger picture so we can learn from it. So I hope you stay, I hope you subscribe, and I hope you share the video and give it a thumbs up if you like it. Okay, that would really help the channel. So today we're going to be looking at the second season of Married at First Sight South Africa, the show where total strangers say I do before even knowing each other. These people agree to get married before even meeting the strangers that they are getting married to. So we're going to dive deep into it. I'm going to give you all of my opinions on the show, and these are just my opinions. Disclaimer. Very important disclaimer. These are just my opinions. These are my opinions. These are not facts. I don't know these people from above, so I'm just going to be judging them. Yes, judging them from what I see on television. All right, let's get into it. So right from the first episode this season, I noticed that a lot of these couples, there's 8 people, by the way, 8 people who are involved in this experiment. There's going to be 4 couples. I noticed that a large majority of them, of the 8 of them, are actually not ready for marriage. So I'm not sure why people go on these shows. Honestly, I don't know. Are people going on these shows to get access to a larger audience, larger following on their social media? I don't understand, because a lot of these people are not ready for marriage. So we've got Portia, who is from the first episode, who's all about looks. She is looking for a tall, dark, and handsome guy. I'm like, girl, you have been married before. Portia has been married before. Portia is 35 years old. Portia's mentality on the first episode should really be the mentality of a 22-year-old, somebody who hasn't lived, somebody who hasn't really experienced life all that much. Portia is 35. Portia is 35 and she's still talking about a tall, dark, and handsome guy. Like, that is the main thing, the main important thing. I'm like, girl, you're a divorcee. You've been married before. At this age, you're almost 40. You are knocking on 40. At this age, you should be looking for something more important than looks, than how tall a person is, how handsome a person. Character should be the most important person, in my opinion. But it's not, Sana, to Portia, it's not. It's all about the looks. And then we've got Palisa, who's also in her 30s. Who's the other lady? There's Nelisa. Nelisa Ntabeni is the oldest lady. She's 40, or she was 40 when the show was filmed. And she is the oldest. I think Nelisa is actually one who is more ready for marriage, but I do want to do individual. I'm probably going to do individual thingy. What do you call it? Individual videos on these people, because there's a lot to unpack. There's a lot to unpack on each of them. Nelisa strike me as somebody who is, I don't want to say a pick me. I don't want to say Mugel is a pick me. I don't want to say that. However, she's very passive. Like, she doesn't want to rock the boat, from what I see. She just will go with whatever, because all she wants is to be married at this stage. She wants to be married. She tells us that one of her ex-boyfriends said to her that her younger sister will be married before she is married, and that bothered her so much. Because she was asking herself, what is wrong with her? Why is this happening, or why is that? So she gives me those pick me vibes, those vibes of, I will agree to anything in my marriage. I just don't want to make my husband mad. She gives me that, and she was very consistent with the vibes that she was giving me from the very first episode right until episode 10. Nelisa has been giving this I will do whatever my husband says vibe. I will just go along to get along, and that is that is kind of scary for me. But I think she's the one who's a bit more ready for marriage than everybody else. But I honestly don't think any of them is 100% ready for marriage. Maybe Bongani is. Bongani Luvalo is 38. He is a businessman. He's got a 10-year-old daughter. He is the one who gets paired up with Portia. The one who's not handsome enough for Portia. But I do like Bongani. I think he's the one who's more, in my opinion, who's more ready for marriage than everybody else. He's very mature. He seems as if he knows what he wants. However, I have to say this. Episode number 1, I really liked Nkululeko. Nkululeko seemed to be he seemed to know what he wants on the first episode, that is, not like on the other episodes. Nkululeko just lost me, honestly. But on episode 1, Nkululeko seemed to know himself, know what he's about. He's very religious. That is something we don't have in common, he and I. But I do respect that, I did respect that in episode 1, before Makoto told us everything she told us about him. But in episode 1, I really liked it when the guys were talking about intimacy. And they said, they were asking, so if you know your lady wants to, get intimate on the first night, on your wedding night, are you going to do it? And Nkululeko is like, no, I would prefer to wait for about 2 months, 60 days. Yeah, 2 months or something like that. And the guys were like, no. They didn't like that. He said he would wait. And I'm sitting here like, do you know, this show is going to be very interesting because South Africans are very similar. These are conversations that I've had with people, just people that I've met, people I've worked with, people I've gone to churches with, people that I've just met in my life. These are the same conversations, and majority of people have the same mentality about these conversations. The issue of intercourse is a real issue in our country. We are a country that seems to be either addicted to sex or a country that lacks self-control when it comes to sex or when it comes to our sexual desires. That is what I noticed on the first episode of this show. Because tell me why everybody was shocked that this man wants to wait for 2 months before he is intimate with a stranger, a bloody stranger that you just met. Now, I understand that maybe they do tests. Maybe they get tested for HIV or STIs or everything else before they get on the show. I don't know. I hope that's what happens. Maybe that does happen, right? But still, these people are strangers. How are you guys really okay sleeping with strangers on the first night of meeting them? Are you really okay with that? And South Africans seem to be okay. Like the majority of South Africans seem to be okay. And that is scary to me. Just a few months ago, there was a TikToker, a 22-year-old girl who lives with her boyfriend, who was trending for telling people that this culture of yours of sleeping with people, of hooking up at nightclubs with people that you don't know, it's not cute. It simply means that you don't like yourself. Sana. The way black women went in on that girl. And in my opinion, she was telling the truth. You cannot be out here sleeping with people you don't know, guys. So it was strange to me that Nkululeko wanted to wait, but everybody thought he was crazy for wanting to wait. Even the so-called experts on this show. The experts were shocked that this guy wants to wait for 2 months before sleeping with a stranger. So what culture are we creating then? What culture are we creating? Are we telling people that it's okay if you don't want to sleep with a stranger? There is something wrong with you, or you're not cool enough, you're not this enough, you're not that enough. Why are the experts shocked? Because I expected the other three guys to be shocked. One of them said, "Oh, so utlotima mutwa uten utlotima mutwa or something along those lines, right?" And this is something I've heard before. There is this culture, especially in our Black community. There are these phrases catchphrases that are used when somebody doesn't want to be intimate with people they don't know, or when somebody doesn't want to have sex as soon as they meet someone. There are all these phrases that are meant to make somebody feel bad, and I don't like that. I think Kuleko is a decent person, or he was a decent person, at least on episode 1, for wanting to wait. I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting to wait before you have sex with a stranger. And we need to encourage that behavior instead of discouraging it. I was so disappointed. I was shocked that even the so-called experts are shocked at this. Like, what culture are we creating, or what culture have we created already? Because it seems to be something we've created already. What culture have we created that we are okay with people having intercourse with strangers? We're even encouraging it. Because even though these people are married, the show is called Married at First Sight, sure. But it's called Married at First Sight. It's not called Screwing You at First Sight or Screwing at First Sight. It's not called any of that. It's called Marriage at First Sight. We can get married first and then proceed to date one another before we have intercourse. And these are conversations that I am all too familiar with, because at some point in my life I was single and celibate, and the longest I went with that lifestyle was 3 years. Sana, when I told people, if I was having conversations with people and it came up and I told them that I hadn't been with anybody in more than a year, South Africans would call me everything. No, ikoke yami angeke idle ipapa, mina ngeke phela idle ipapa, ikoke yami angeke idle ipapa. These are all phrases, catchphrases that we used to make people feel guilty for being sexually disciplined. And this is the culture we have created in South Africa. I don't understand why. This guy wanted to wait for 2 months for whatever reason. And I said, when I watched it, first episode, when I heard him say that, I said, yo, Nkululeko Sana, these people are gonna accuse you of being gay. They're gonna accuse you of not liking what's her name, Makoto. They're gonna accuse you of not liking your wife. They're gonna accuse you of having sexual what do they call them? Sexual challenges, whatever they call them. They are going to accuse you of everything just because you want to wait before screwing a stranger. And sure enough, on episode 2 or episode 3, Makoto accused him of having sexual issues. Makoto told everybody. Makoto told Portia that she said to him he needs to go to men's clinic. And I was expecting it because in our country you cannot be sexually disciplined. In everybody's eyes, you cannot be sexually disciplined unless there's something wrong with you. That bothers me so much, that when people are making the right decisions for themselves, if we don't like those decisions, we have to come up with everything in the book to try and find a reason why. Like, can it not just be it's just because the guy doesn't want to sleep with a stranger? I mean, Portia did it, but Portia did it because she wasn't attracted to, what's his name, to Bongani. She had not had sex with him the first night. Or they still, up until now, the 10th episode, they haven't slept together, as far as I know. Right? So it's been a while since these people have been married. It's been weeks now, and Portia still hasn't had intercourse with Bongani because she hasn't been interested in him. So why is it that It's okay when someone is not interested, but it's not okay when you are interested. You just want to build something solid first before getting there. Why is that a problem? So these are some of the things we have to look at about ourselves and really work on, because it is not okay to be sitting here telling people they're not good enough just because they are sexually disciplined, or telling people there's something wrong with them just because they don't want to sleep with strangers. No. If you want to sleep with strangers, you yourself, go ahead. But please respect people for their own decisions that they are making. But I say all of that to say, a lot of these people are not ready for marriage. And it's not just the guys, it is the ladies as well. These ladies are not ready for marriage. I'm going to be doing videos on each couple. I'll also be doing videos on each person, really. Each lady or each guy, because there's a lot to unpack with these people. There is a lot to unpack. Personally, I don't even like these experts. They turned me off right on the first episode with that whole thing of Nkululeko wanting to wait and them not wanting him to wait, them being shocked that somebody wants to wait. God forbid this guy wants to take 2 months getting to know this lady before sleeping with her. The show is not called Having Sex at First Sight. No, it's called Married at First Sight. So we can be married and still build our relationship before getting intimate. I don't understand why we've created a culture of rushing into intimacy before we even know people. Like, how is that okay? How is that okay? And even if it's okay for you, that is fine. But why do you have to judge people who don't think that that's okay? Like, I was watching and Nkululeko was being made to feel like shit. All because he wanted to wait 2 months before sleeping with this lady. Like, what on earth is that? So we've got others. We've got Makoto, who is an actress. Makoto is a problem. And I want to do a video specifically on her. Listen, Makoto is a headache. Makoto is a headache, and I hope Nkululeko leaves her. I don't think Nkululeko is perfect. I think Nkululeko is one of those Christians who pretend. One of those Christians who want to have what do you call it? One of those who want to have this persona on the outside, right? While behind closed doors is something completely different. I have met a lot of those. I think Nkululeko is one of them. I really do think he's one of them. So I believe Makoto when she says he drinks behind the scenes. He drinks when the cameras are off. I believe that, because that's what I see when I look at him. But I do like that he seemed to be sexually disciplined on that first episode. I did like that about him. Who else is on here? There is Tepo Mia, who, in my personal opinion, is a bully. A bully who has no right to talk about women's looks. He called his wife Palisa ugly, according to what Palisa says. She says he called her ugly. I'm looking at Tepo. I'm like, dude, you have no right to call any woman ugly. You see, this is the thing. This is another reason why I started this channel personally, because we cannot have women being so desperate for marriage that they make these men so much audacity to think that they are the prize, to a point where the ugliest man, the most obese man on the show is calling a woman ugly. How, sir? How? You looking the way you look, you have the balls to call a woman ugly. How? Tell us how. Is it because you've got money? Or she was driving your car at some point, and you're spoiling her, giving her your car? What makes you think you have the right to call a woman ugly? Have you looked in the mirror? Have you seen yourself when a tap? Have you seen yourself? It cannot be that a man who looks like Sepo is going around here calling women ugly. It cannot be. And I don't think Tsepo is ready for marriage. I haven't, even from the first episode I could see, no, this one is absolutely not ready for marriage. Absolutely not ready. Tsepo is one of those guys, from what I see, one of those guys who did themselves a huge favor by going to varsity, getting a degree or a qualification, and getting a nice cushy job. He did himself a huge favor by doing that, because I don't see any woman staying with Tsepo for any other reason other than money, his money, or maybe her desperation to just have a man. Those are the only two reasons. So Tsepo, my guy, you did yourself a huge favor by getting educated and getting that job, because he's a senior IT analyst apparently, and I don't think you can get there without having some solid qualification. So he did himself a huge favor by going to school and getting a cushy job so he can have some money, because I think the only way currently, from what I see at the moment, maybe sometime in future it will change when he works on himself and all of that, but currently at the moment I think the only reason that a woman would be with somebody like Tsepo is if she is desperate for money, or if she needs a man to take care of her financially, or if she just needs to have the title of wife and to flex on other women to say, I'm married and you're not. Those are the only two reasons, because there is no way, I don't think anybody would stay with Tsepo for his character. Which one? This one that looks like he's a bully. I don't think any woman would be happy with him if it had nothing to do with his money. But these are the people. I do want to just have separate videos of each couple first, and then each individual, because there is a lot to unpack. There's a lot to unpack. There is a lot to unpack with all of these people. There's a lot to unpack. So please do stick around. I will be doing more videos on this. Please do share the videos. Please do comment. Tell me what you think of the show. Tell me what you think of the experts and the cast. Okay, thank you so much for watching. I will see you on the next one.